Here's the snapback. Here's the kick. He's got the leg into it. If it is good, and it is! Austin Starr, a 49-yard field goal, and Indiana leads 27-24.
Oh, it's an end around one to throw. Page looking at the quarterback, and it's a touchdown! Page finds Leno!
Penix rolling out of the pocket to a strong hand. Delivers deep down the field. Caught, touchdown! Fried Fogel again.
We're back. Welcome to the OYO podcast. Sorry for taking a break. I'm your host, Michael Bragg. Find me on Twitter. It's at Bragley. If you haven't already blocked me, at Bragley, Braggley. I'm here with my co-host, as always. His name's Brandon. You can find him on Twitter. It's Brandon Dubich. That's Brandon spelled traditionally Dubich, D-U-B-I-C-H. What's up, Brando?
I don't know. Between Pittsburgh Steelers and specifically IU basketball, and they make me want a whiskey drink.
Yeah.
Make me drink a vodka drink. Make me drink a lager drink. Make me drink a cider drink. But this podcast helps me remind of the good times.
Nice.
This podcast helps me remind of the best times.
There we go.
And today we're going to talk about our favorite IU football games.
Yes.
So bring some positivity into the airwaves.
The IU sphere. Yeah. And fortunately for all of our listeners, if I could speak, I've had half of a seltzer so far, by the way, Brandon, so don't judge me. Producer Seth is suspended tonight after I grabbed his elbow when he took a swing at Brandon. So if you haven't already blocked him, I'm just kidding. That was a Juwan Howard thing. Go make fun of him on Twitter. It's at SayTop5, SETAH5, and then block him. So unblock him, block him again.
No one will have to mop up his sack tonight.
That's true. I don't want anybody mopping anything. So, all right, cool. A couple quick updates. Since we've last spoke, Jonathan King has entered the portal. Brandon, here we go again. With what did I write on here? Another player that never really hit his potential, right? Is that how you feel about Jonathan King?
I mean, he seems to be the poster child type player that you and I were just gushing over, and then zero productivity. Whether that's scheme or whether that's development or whether that's skill, we'll never be able to answer that. But I mean, I'm not losing my mind. I mean, it's not like we lost a running backs coach.
Let's not do this again. So he came in. I remember the three Florida boys on defense: Jonathan King, James Miller, and James Head Jr. all came in at the same time. So I guess if you were to pick out of the three, if one of them was going to transfer, then maybe it's him. I mean, I don't know. We wish him well in whatever he does in the future, wherever he goes. So no hard feelings. Just wanted to share the news. A little bit of some other decent news, I would think. Hopefully there's a decent amount of momentum behind this. And you might know more about it than I do. But Georgia Tech transfer outside linebacker defensive end Jordan Dominic with an offer from IU, a late offer. I think they can continue to offer transfers until the beginning of the season, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I looked at him, loved the tape, loved it. Looked explosive off the edge, good run stopper. Played in some pretty high profile games in the ACC. So have you looked into him at all?
I have not, specifically just because while the portal is always open, it doesn't matter if it's in season or off season, it comes in a weird time to where he can't transfer for the spring, but he can still transfer for the summer, which would if he got in before summer classes, he would be able to play in the fall. But it's just kind of a weird timing. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. So I'm trying not to get excited, but this guy could be a difference maker. The skill, the tape is certainly impressive, despite him playing in the ACC, which is it the worst Power 4 conference, Power 5 conference, the ACC, or is the Pac-12 the worst?
Or is the Big 12 the worst?
The Big 12 is at least top heavy,
Yeah.
right? Like this year, the top teams of the ACC were Pitt and Wake Forest. I know IU can't talk because IU would have got whooped by Pitt and Wake Forest, but like that's the top of the ACC.
Does Baylor beat either one of those teams? Texas beat either one of those teams?
20.
Do they?
Maybe by Texas, maybe by a score.
Gotcha.
Baylor's pretty good.
Baylor's pretty decent. Yeah. Yeah, I would say so probably. I mean, Pac-12, maybe. Arizona's bad. Arizona State bad. Utah good. Oregon good. Cal bad. Washington bad. Washington State bad. I mean, there's some bad teams in the Pac-12 this last year too, but that's a different pot. I think I agree with you. If they're not, they're very close second bad.
Yeah.
So, all right. Speaking of bad, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's get into our favorite IU football games. And this is of all time, Brandon, of all time. Fun fact for everybody that is listening. All three of you, it's perfect number because we picked three of them. Mine are not in order. And I'm not sure that I have an order. Also, Brandon and I had zero access to each other's notes.
Not correct.
So we may have duplicates. I tried to do what I do and pick hipster-ish kind of picks, I guess.
See, I did not. I went with cliche.
You went with chalk, did you? One of them's pretty chalk. The other two you may not have. But I'll let you start, Brandon. Go ahead.
So I'll go with number 3. Mine is in 3-2-1. And this is going to be kind of the first game that I started to get really excited about IU football. We weren't doing a podcast yet, but this was kind of before either one of us had kids. It was the 17 ranked Michigan State Spartans coming into the Hoosier Richard Legault-led Indiana team. And I mean, him and Divine Redding just put on a show. Do you remember? This is the first Champaign game. And then this is when we started bringing Champagne to all of sorry.
No, you're good.
Yes, ESPN always pops those things up. Do you remember this game? Do you remember?
It's my first one. First one on my list.
Is it? Okay,
yes.
Good. Well, see, again, we don't have the same notes, but this, I mean, the tailgate was fun. Man, it was just all these ESPN. I hate ESPN so much. All these ESPN videos are playing.
Oh yeah, the worst. I can't hear it if it makes you feel any better. But yes, this game, I remember it vaguely. A tale of two halves is what I wrote down. 14-0 at halftime, I believe. Michigan State was leading in a very not exciting game. Weird enough, I mean, the stats are fine across the board. I mean, Legault was okay. He was over 50% throwing the ball. Redding was over 5 yards a carry.
It was like perfect balance, right? Like it wasn't Legault throwing the ball a million times. It wasn't us running for, no efficiency. I mean, it was kind of like perfect offense.
Yeah. It was, Michigan State, I believe they hit a couple big plays. One early in the game that kind of, I think, set the tone in the first quarter. But it was a weird game. I do remember that.
Ricky Jones
had a big game. Down 14-0. And then this is what I wrote. We were down 14-0. Take the lead because we scored 21 unanswered in the second half, and then do the traditional IU thing and allow them to tie it up with 7 seconds left. I think it was 11 seconds. Yeah. Well, there you go. And then in overtime, and I don't know if you have this written down, did we sack them on second and third down to knock them out of like decent field goal position? And then they left it short.
Yep. Yeah. They must have not have had that redheaded kicker that just, decided to hit 50-yard bombs.
Bombs. Us. Yeah. And then what happened after that, Brandon? In overtime.
Kick is good.
Yeah, the kick is good.
Griffin Oaks.
Awful kick. It was, if you remember, if you haven't seen it for a while, go back and look. Griffin Oaks overtime win against Michigan State.
Very close kick.
It was bad. It was like a knuckleballer that kind of just barely made it over and it was from the 3-yard line, I think, 3 or 4 yard line. And it was bad.
It was only a 22-yard field goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was on from the 4-yard line.
So it was a bad field goal. Fun fact about this one, and I think we've talked about it on one of the episodes back in the day. My wife was passed out in the car for the majority of the game.
See, I don't remember that.
Oh yeah.
I do not remember that part.
Yeah, I have a picture, a great picture of us, like a selfie, and you can just look at her face and just see that she's gone.
You know what? I think I remember us going out at halftime and like me and you trying to drag her out of the passenger seat.
She rallied at halftime.
Did she rally?
Oh,
Did we get it? So was it successful? I remember that.
So here's what happened. So she midway first quarter, maybe early second quarter, she asked me for the keys so that she could just go sleep in the car. And I was upset at that point. So
because it was 14-0. And she's like, I've seen this before.
Yeah, go ahead, go sleep in the car. That's fine. We'll be out there at halftime. She said, wake me up at halftime. I'll come back after that. Well, we go out to halftime. We wake her up. She rallies, right? I think she takes another shot. I don't know what we were doing there. Whiskey, something. Try to get her to go back in. Doesn't go back in. Goes back in the car. Falls asleep. We come back after the win, elated. She has no idea the game's over. She doesn't believe us that the game's over. She thinks it's halftime at that point. And we have to explain to her the chain of events. We've already had halftime, babe. You've already been up. We've already drank. Let's pop these champagne bottles and let's celebrate the win. And so, yeah, that was what I remember the most about that game. I also remember this, Brandon. If you remember this, I didn't watch the kicks, either one of the kicks. I couldn't do it. I had my heart broken enough. Could not watch them. Didn't watch the Michigan State kick. Put my head down for that. Didn't watch the Griffin Oaks kick, either one.
To her credit, listen to our drives. Punt, interception, missed field goal, turnover on downs, missed field goal.
Yeah.
That was the quarter and a half of IU.
Was Griffin that bad in this game? What did he kick? Was he 1 of 3? Oh, I remember. That's why I didn't want to watch. He was 1 of 3 for field goals. His long was 20.
It's real bad. But this game was amazing, man.
Fun game.
Michigan State ended up being awful. Like they ended up being like 4-8 or something. Like they ended up not, the win didn't age well, but like holy cow, was that fun. It was just an awesome, like I said, maybe a little bit too much of a fun tailgate for your wife, but just a fun tailgate, fun game, fun celebration. I loved that game.
Yep. And this is the game that's in the intro. The Page finds Lego game. That was that one too, where Mitchell Page, I think, was 3rd and goal. Did a kind of
here, I have all the plays
turnaround here. Yeah, it's a 3rd and goal pass from the 5. Mitchell Page hit Lego on a jet sweep wide receiver pass back to the quarterback opposite field. It was pretty awesome. Again, if you haven't seen it, Google it.
15-yard pass with 4 minutes and 38 seconds left in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it was huge.
To put it up 21
to 14. Yep. Okay.
Your turn. Or are we just going right to my next one?
Well, let's go to your next one if you want. My next one's chalk, so you probably have this one too.
I probably have this one. So we just talked about your wife partying a little too hard. Now it's the story of my wife partying a little too hard. The IU Purdue bucket game. I call it the Samson James game.
Oh, that one. Okay. The one that I was at, 2019.
Yes, 2019. So
I don't know why you didn't put this one on the list.
We always go up to Chicago to spend Thanksgiving with her family up on the north side of Chicago. But we always, it's always the weekend, always a bucket weekend. So we always go out to a bar. And IU is just out there killing them. I mean, I think it was 28-7 or 20.
They were 20, up big. We were up 17 or 18 points at one point, I remember. And I was there. It was raining. It was disgusting, but it was a great time. I was having a blast.
So we're celebratory drinking, probably a little too much celebratory drinking, right? Thinking like, okay, we'll end up like, this game, it's already out of hand, but like we'll cool down in the second half, right? Maybe we'll turn away from shots and we'll just do drinks, move to beer because it'll be a nice, easy victory. But not so fast. They outscore us by like 3 touchdowns in the last quarter and a
Xander
half.
Horvath and the tight
Xander
end.
Horvath, 23 carries, 164 yards for 7 yards a clip and 2 touchdowns. He broke a 50-yard run. Xander Horvath broke off a 50-yard run.
I don't think he had topped 50 at all outside of one other game. 50 at all, like total yards, 50 the rest of the season, any other part of the season outside of one other game. We've talked about that before. He killed us. And then the tight end, goodness. Bryce Hopkins. Man, dude, some of the bounces that I remember. So one of the touchdowns that they scored, and I think it was in overtime, it was a 4th down or a 3rd down and long. They threw it across the middle. I think it was O'Connell. Across the middle, the ball gets somehow ricocheted forward down the field. And Bryson Hopkins just happens to be standing right there, right on the goal line, and dove and caught it and scored a touchdown. It was like the most ridiculous. I thought at that point, that's it. It's written.
Yep.
It's done. And then we got stuck, I believe, on a 3rd and 10 on the first overtime. And
scored a touchdown.
He hit Westbrook. I mean, it was the weirdest thing ever. If you guys go back and rewatch this game at all, which I highly recommend, it's very entertaining. Westbrook just runs an outside hitch right to the pylon, but it's almost like he just runs and turns around, and the defender just like has zero effort on it at all. Peyton Ramsey puts it right on a dime, but it looked almost like they were just practicing the throw. It's so weird. And then we just got him in the second overtime or third overtime, right? We went 3
second overtime.
Second overtime. That's right.
Ramsey was immaculate in both overtimes.
Yeah.
I don't he was incredible. Hendershot was huge. But for a game that had a lot, obviously 44-41, man, Tywan Mullen was a beast.
He was also burnt a lot by David Bell in this game.
A lot of people have been burnt by David Bell, but he had 4 pass breakups, 8 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss.
Yeah. Yep. He was really, watch the game. If you guys haven't watched it for a while, go back and rewatch this game. And not to make
Karlaftis had 2 sacks.
Yeah. Not to make this into a David Bell podcast, it was a David Bell versus Tywan Mullen game that was incredible. David Bell made a catch, and I'm pretty sure they made a t-shirt about it.
Who had more catches,
diving backwards?
Wop or David Bell?
Oh, Wop had a huge game.
David Bell had more catches. Who had more yards?
Wop did.
Wop. Who averaged more?
Wop.
Wop did. Who had more touchdowns?
Wop had 2 touchdowns at least.
2 tutties.
2 of them, they were wide open. The first one was on the opposite end of the field from the visiting section, and there was nobody within 30 yards of him. He was just standing in the back of the end zone. The second one, they called on TV. They said there's nobody on Wop right now. Somebody might want to get on him. And then he just runs a fly, and Peyton tried not to throw the football to him. He left it quite a bit short, and Wop had to make a shoestring catch on the run and then get it into the end zone. But what a game. I can't believe I left that one off, but so
moral of the story, we keep drinking and keep drinking. Sasha, I shouldn't say her name. Anyway, my wife ends up not remember going home, pukes in her own family's bathroom, and passes out on the couch for about 4 hours afterwards.
That's the mix. You go from happy drinking to depressed drinking to
drinking
depressed
again.
Anxiety drinking to happy drinking.
Celebratory drinking again. I mean, if that is like, this game encapsulated such the IU football experience, like the just the roller coaster. This is the most IU game ever.
With a result that's not IU tradition.
No. Normally we're on the other end of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely my second favorite game of all time. Didn't have the atmosphere the Michigan State game did. We weren't in the stadium, but just being in a random bar. We were like in a basement. It wasn't a dive bar, but it was like a basement bar in the suburbs of Chicago. It's just a great
awesome
story.
Yeah, I remember, just like the same thing with us. My brother and I went to that game. Man, the
Epic
elation.
pictures. You guys got epic
Yeah,
pictures.
because we got down to the front. We were in like the third or fourth row of the visitor section. So after we had won, we ran down to the front and all the players came over. They brought the bucket over. It was so cool. We've got such a cool video where I got to grab the bucket and hold the bucket. And there's some pictures with us and Stevie Scott when he jumped in the crowd and just
newly signed USFL player, Stevie Scott.
26th round or something like that. But they only have 8 teams. So it's really like he was a 3rd round draft pick or something like that. 4th round draft pick. So
the math works.
Yeah. My next one is another IU Purdue game, but this one is also in the intro. Seth's favorite game. November 17th, 2007, Indiana 27, Purdue 24. Another one of those games, Brandon, where we were rolling. I think we were up 24-10. I've got the stuff right here. I guess I could just look at it. 24-3. We were up, and that was in the 3rd quarter. So at that point, you've got to be thinking we are good. But we missed a field goal. We had a fumble on the last 2 possessions that we had the football until they tied it up at 24. And then we get the Austin Stark call, which is in the intro, the very beginning of our intro, and everybody's heard it 1,000 times. But man, what a game. And and Kelvin Lewis, Kellen Lewis. Gosh.
3rd time.
Marcus Thigpen, huge game.
Oh, Marcus Thigpen.
Miss Marcus Thigpen so much. James Hardy, huge game. I mean,
R.I.P.
Yes, of course. Big Play Ray had a decent game. I mean, it was great. And we're going up against a really stacked Purdue team with Dustin Keller, Dorian Bryant, Curtis Painter, really stacked team on their side. They have a bunch of NFL players on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Former Colt Curtis Painter, right?
Yeah. Former Colts Ray Fisher as well. Drafted him in the 7th round, I believe.
Fun little Curtis Painter. It's when you guys were tanking for luck.
Yeah.
My wife and I went to a Steelers game thinking like, oh, we're going to blow them out. And the Steelers won by like a last second field goal because Curtis Painter decided to become Peyton Manning in that game.
Painter had some decent games for the Colts. He was okay. He was a solid backup really, but had no business starting a football game in the NFL. So, but didn't hate him post college. So I'll take it. Not a whole lot to add there. I do remember where I was. Brandon, do you remember where you were for this game? Were you there?
Knew you were going to ask me this. And if people want to give me heck about this, it's fine. I was pledging.
Oh, that's right.
A fraternity.
That's right.
So all tailgate, I was, working the tailgate, going on beer runs, driving people back and forth to the bars. During the game, I was driving people all around, this, that, and the other. I was in my car driving, listening, though, to the radio. So I heard the call on the radio, but I did not see it live. I was not in the stadium. I was not watching the game. I was doing fraternity obligations.
Oh man, I was with my bro again. We had been at a couple other parties during the day, I remember, and then we went back to my apartment and watched it. Yeah, that was pretty baller, dude. I remember all that. Okay,
I've watched it on the classic. I've watched it like the sped up version.
It's great
before.
It's great
A few times.
We have Big Ten, whatever. We can watch it whenever we want.
I know.
Right?
You're still paying whatever that is a month.
I just keep forgetting about it. All right, what's your last one?
My last one has to be. This happened at your house.
Yep.
It was a moment I'll never forget. I don't think I've ever embraced you or any other person that isn't family that much ever before. It's the Michael Penix reach game against Penn State, which if that game doesn't happen, the season doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably the best season since the Rose Bowl season. Holy cow, that 2020 COVID year Penn State game was just amazing. 36-35 was the final score. Penix was awful.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie Scott was awful. If you look at the stat sheet, we lose this game 95 out of 100 times.
We've talked about it. We had no business winning that game. The defense, Jamar Johnson, huge in that game. Even though the stats aren't going to show it. But yeah, for me, I mean, of course, I'm always going to talk
Clifford
about
was
Jamar
a
Johnson.
beast. Clifford almost had 400 total yards. He had 4 touchdowns.
How many picks did he have, though?
2.
2 picks, and we turned him over in the red zone. I think twice.
Their running back, Will Levis, fumbled.
Will Levis is the kid he's the quarterback at Kentucky now.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he came. They brought him on. They were talking about how highly, I remember this moment, about how highly touted of a recruit he was, and brought him on for a scheme play to run a read option. And I believe it was Jamar Johnson that got in the backfield and forced the fumble, or he recovered the fumble, one of the two. So I know he either had a forced or recovered fumble, and he had a pick.
Jerome Johnson, USFL player Jerome Johnson, recovered the fumble.
That's right. There you go.
But
Johnson. There you go.
That game had Pat Freiermuth, Steeler tight end. He
huge game.
Was a beast.
Yep.
Man, if you I'm looking at the box score now. I have no idea how we won this game. No idea. Big play Jay had a pick. Reese had a big field goal. Chucky was amazing. Oh my God. Hayden Whitehead had a game.
Yep. It was a fun game.
Super fun game. We drank a lot. I think it was that's a fun podcast to go back and listen to. Not that I'd encourage anyone to go back and listen to, but we recorded, I think, afterwards. It was just fun.
We did not record afterwards.
Did we not?
No.
See, that's how much I remember from that.
But
game.
we have recapped that game, so you can go back and watch that. We didn't start. We had everything rolling at that point. Everything was moving as far as just getting started, but we didn't really produce a podcast until we started. We did our first recording after the Maryland game, and then we posted after the Wisconsin game. That was our first podcast. But
dude, that team, like Shaka Toney played on that team.
It was a good team.
Joey
Really
Porter
good Penn State
Jr.,
team.
Mike Miranda, who got drafted, Odalia Waye, he plays for the Ravens. He's a stud. Like that Penn State team was stacked.
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson, who's going to be probably a second or third round pick.
Maybe if I've seen him in the first round, I think.
I mean, that Penn State team was loaded.
So if I can give
we had Hendershot and our defense was loaded.
No, we're good. We were good. So if I can give my opinion on why it's not in my top 3.
I can't wait to hear yours because
I'm tired of the. I think that how do I say this without sounding like I loved the game? I think it should be a top 3 game, but because I'm so invested in this program, I look at everything. So I read everything. I see the national stuff. I see all this stuff. I got so worn out about
he didn't get it.
Did he score? He didn't score. He didn't score. He did score. He didn't score. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. And I think not having a crowd there as well. I mean, us not being there kind of takes a little bit out of it too.
So that happened right where our seats are. Do we rush the field? Or do our wives grab us by the collars?
I would have
don't let us
probably kissed you, if anything. I don't know. That would have been incredible.
I mean, it would have been 20 yards from our seats.
Yeah, it would have been right there.
Because we're first row that end zone.
Yeah, it would have been right there. So I don't know. I have no real excuse other than the fact that like some of the other 2 games have personal. I was at the Michigan State game. I was not at the 2007 game, but I've got a pretty personal connection to that game. And then the next one, my game, if you're done with the Penn State, we can move on.
I'm done.
And that was an honorable mention. So it would have been in there, but I think I'm just over I just don't want to talk about it anymore. Do you know what I mean?
I get it.
I guess I don't want to
I can't wait. I
don't know.
I can only think of one other game that you might include. I'm on pins and needles, bro.
September 20th, 2014, Indiana 31, number 18 and reigning SEC East champion, Missouri 27. IU goes into this game as a double-digit underdog.
Noon kickoff, right?
4:00 kickoff.
4:00. Okay,
Again,
I'll explain why I think it was noon.
A game that I can tell all of the details of where I was at, what I was wearing, what I was drinking. It was one of the first games that I had watched with my wife. No. I guess we had been together for about a year at that point. But man, I don't understand why. I don't know. Like, what a game. It was almost 1,000 total yards on each side of the ball, or not on each side of the ball, but combined. Nate Sudfeld was terrible, really. He was 18 of 33, 252 yards, 1 touchdown. But Tevin Coleman, huge, 19 carries, 132 yards, and probably the player of the game, D'Angelo Roberts, Brandon. There's a name.
I'm looking up the stats now.
15 carries, 65 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the biggest touchdown of the game.
Matty Mock.
Matty Mock. We talked about Matty Mock the other day when we got Baz. But IU did something that IU hasn't done, or I hadn't seen IU do in forever. Now, remember, this is 2014. IU coughs up the lead. It's kind of back and forth, take the lead in the end of the third quarter. So we're feeling good, 24-17, 2 plays, 82 yards. Tevin Coleman, just massive run, and then a big play to Ja'Shawn Harris, 2 plays down the field, good. Give up an immediate touchdown on defense. Punt. They get a field goal. We score a touchdown, 6 plays, 75 yards, 2-minute drive to take it down, and we score with 22 seconds left to go on a D'Angelo Roberts touchdown from 3 yards out.
58 seconds left. Yep.
He was incredible. Now that drive has one of the most iconic plays, to me, at least, in IU football in the last 30 years. Nate Sudfeld hit Tevin Coleman on a swing pass. And it was, if you're watching it on TV, it was the nearest sideline to you. So he hits him on this thing, and it was the perfect Tevin Coleman thing where he gets it, he squares his shoulders, and you know what he does when he does that, and he just gone, and he just takes off. So 44 yards down the sideline on 1st and 10, and we get a pass interference on the play before, and then we get another face mask on top of that to put us half the distance, and then that was pretty much it. Cool thing about that game was my roommate's girlfriend showed up, and they had planned this. These mother effers had planned this prior. She's from Missouri. She owned a Missouri football jersey. She shows up to my house in a Missouri football jersey. First thing I said to her was, if we beat you, I'm burning the jersey. I burned the jersey. It's on YouTube. I don't know where it's at. I think if you Google like IU fan burns Missouri jersey, it's like one of the dumbest videos you'll see, but it's out there. Like IU fan burns Missouri jersey or something like that. But yeah, what a game, dude. I remember I was wearing stupid shorts. I had candy striped socks on, just a normal IU shirt. It's when I discovered the perfect combination of Reds, apple, whatever it's called, and Fireball, and put it into a giant jug.
Fireball, or no, Angry Balls, right? Or something like that is what it's called.
Yeah. Well, I should have named it that.
I've never had one, but I think that's what the kids call it.
You've had them. I've made them at tailgates. Maybe you've never had it, but I don't know. We'll make it.
Not a big apple cider.
I got a great picture of me just taking the entire jug and just chugging it. Like huge, like a big, like Coleman, like, you know, like when you're a kid. Remember when you used to get the water with the paper cups at football practice out of a big Coleman, like water cooler thing, whatever. Yeah, that thing was full of Fireball and Reds at the beginning of the game. And it was like about halfway there. And then I've got a great picture of myself just two-handed all the way back, chugging it. Oh man, what a night. What a night. Do you remember anything about that game?
Yes. Okay. So I worked for a company out of San Francisco, at the time. So I'd been to California a lot. I traveled there all the time for work. And my wife, not my wife at the time in 2014, but she goes, screw this. We're going to California. So we did like a 10-day trip down the PCH. If no one's ever been, listeners, if you haven't had a chance to go on the Pacific Coast Highway, do it. It's beautiful. But we're at the end of the trip. We're down in San Diego. We started up in like Sonoma, Napa. 9 days later, we're down in San Diego, right? And I'm not missing an IU football game, right? So we go, and I drag was this supposed to be a couples trip? I'm like, we're going to San Diego State's campus and watching this game, and I am going to be ridiculous. So I just walk, like they're all watching games or whatever, and I'm the only person wearing Indiana stuff. I request the game to be put on TV, and I'm going nuts. By the end of the game, I got like recruited all these San Diego State fans to pull for Indiana. It was pretty awesome. Don't remember getting to the hotel afterwards, but
yeah, I don't remember a whole lot after. I don't really remember even lighting the
that's
jersey
why I thought
on
it was like
fire.
9 a.m. because I was watching an East Coast game on, I guess it's Central
At 4
time.
o'clock. It would have been
4
o'clock
or
Eastern.
2.
Would have been 1 o'clock out there. So
Yeah, felt like 9
that makes
a.m.
sense.
But yeah, no, that was a fun game. And then we lost to like Navy.
We lost to Maryland immediately after. So
Maryland. I thought it was
tough story. Yeah, I read about this. I read about it. Like I looked into it right afterwards. I'm like, I remember being like totally because we were coming off. I think you said Navy. I think we were coming off of no, dude. Now I remember. I think they came off of a loss at Bowling Green. IU had just lost to Bowling Green.
Where I watched that in a cafe in San Francisco.
Bro, I was there. That was my away game for the year. We went to Bowling Green, which I will never go to again. And because our non-conference was Indiana State, Bowling Green, Missouri, North Texas. So we went to Bowling Green and saw a 45-42 loss with like a last-second Hail Mary that they won on. Sudfeld was incredible. Coleman was incredible. Wynn was incredible in that game, but we still lost. And then they go and they beat the number 18 team in the country, SEC East champions. And then they go and play Maryland at home again in that game at Maryland at home. Yeah. Well, you want to know why they get worked? Sudfeld goes out for the year. Linebacker turned quarterback back to linebacker. Chris Covington comes in. He gets hurt. He's out for the year. Who steps in? Super Xander comes in and Sudfeld gets hurt. He goes out. He wasn't out for the year at that point. I think he was out for the year in the Iowa game. But he gets hurt. He's out for that game. Covington comes in. He gets hurt. He's out for the season. Xander comes in. So it's pretty much where Xander took over. He took over after the Iowa game. And that was the beginning of that. So, and that was the end of our season, except for a win at home against Purdue, which was nice. I think that may have kept. It was either a really bad Purdue game, a really bad Purdue team against a really bad IU. I'm going to just 2 seconds away from this. We beat them 23-60. Yeah, they were 3-9, 1-7 in conference, and that kept us at 4-8 and 1-7 in conference. So, but what a game. That was a cigar game. That was
where we almost beat Penn State. Was the 7-13.
The 7-13 game. And I think our only
what a wild season 20. I mean, it was 4-8, so it was a shitty year,
it was a terrible year, yeah.
But I mean, look at some of these games.
Yeah. I mean, look at the offense against Penn State. Diamont 68 yards passing, Coleman 71 yards rushing. And Booth, do you remember, was it David Booth?
Dominic Booth
from Pike, I think. 4-star wide receiver that never really panned out. 33 yards. So our only touchdown was the opening touchdown of Mark Murphy, 47-yard interception return for a touchdown. That was it.
Brandon Shelby is still a coach at IU, right?
Yes.
He was a coach there in that game. I'm on the Wikipedia page.
He's been there forever. Brandon Shelby's been there forever.
Casey Teagarden, who's still there. He was on staff.
Yep.
Kind of crazy, some of the guys. The running backs coach that will not be named.
He was there. Yeah.
He was there.
He was there. Yep. Yep. Well,
It's always fun going back and looking at some of these rosters.
Yeah, the rosters were funny. I mean, just and the great part is for me, I can look back at that point and think that like I was telling so many people how good that team was, like how good Nick Stoner was, how good
TJ Simmons, T. Gray Scales,
TJ Simmons was. He was built like a defensive tackle, but for some reason we played him at linebacker.
Greg Gooch
was good though. Gooch was an NFL player.
Bobby Richardson,
an NFL player. Played
Darius Latham. I mean,
Darius Latham, NFL
how did
player.
This team go 4-8 because we didn't have a quarterback. Is why. But like, look at some of these names.
Bad dude.
Antonio
Allen should have been an NFL player. I mean, you're right. I get it. But then we had who else did we have on
Rashard
Fant? Shane Wynn.
Rashard Fant.
Rashard Fant. We need to wrap this up. I've had 2 seltzers and I'm hammered, obviously. All right. Anything else you want to add? Any other honorable
This was fun.
Favorite games?
This was
a good time. Any other honorable mention favorite games you want to add in there?
No.
I mean, the beat down in Michigan 2020 was, pretty much all of 2020.
This may be another fun thing to do in the off season is just like look at previous year's rosters. Cause like I'm having a blast looking at this 2014
roster. Yeah. What a disappointment. Could you imagine if Sudfeld stays healthy? I don't have the schedule in front of me anymore, but they probably beat Rutgers. That was the game where I think Coleman went over 300 yards rushing or something stupid. Am I right? Do you have it in front of you?
I don't have it.
And he was, and okay. If you find it, Rutgers IU 2014, I'm pretty sure Coleman went over 300 yards rushing or something stupid. And he was the second leading rusher in the country. And I'm pretty sure Jonathan Taylor had like 330 yards rushing or something on the same week. I was so bummed out because I thought for sure, even in a loss.
Could have been Jonathan Taylor. He was a little pup at that point.
Was it? I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it was Monte Ball then. Would that have made more sense?
It had to be. Jonathan Taylor didn't come until like 2017.
Rutgers 2014, Indiana. Rutgers made a bowl in 2014, it says. Let's look at it. Yeah, Coleman had 32 carries for 307 yards. He was a monster. I remember that game. It was at Rutgers. I'm pretty sure they wore black jerseys. God, I'm disgusting. I remember some of these details, man. It was nuts. Who would have been Wisconsin 2014? Let's just do this while we're sitting here just recording. Wisconsin 2014 football. Football 11, 15, 14. Let's see. It was against Nebraska. Melvin. Oh my God, Brandon. Melvin Gordon, 25 carries, 4 touchdowns, 408 yards rushing.
My God.
Their leading receiver, Joel Stavey? Is that his name? Yeah.
Stavey, yeah.
7 of 11, 46 yards and a touchdown. Their leading receiver had 2 catches for 16 yards.
Not hard being a quarterback when you have Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon's touchdowns were 62 yards, 1 yard, 6 yards, 26 yards. They beat him 59-24. It's pretty reminiscent of what happened in Indianapolis when those two played each other.
Ooh.
It was bad. That was really bad. Speaking of bad, I don't have a transition for our promo, but a super quick word from our sponsor, Monon Track Club. MTC is Indiana's running brand built on a deep love for the sport in the Hoosier State. They craft products, tell stories, and create experiences that aim to celebrate, support, and add to Indiana's running culture. Check out the link in the show notes for more details on their club runs and to shop sick gear from shirts to hoodies to koozies. These dudes are still running, by the way. I know that the weather's been like 60 degrees and then 6 the next day, but even if it's 6, they're still outside running. As a thank you to our listeners, they are offering 10% off your order. Use promo code LEO10 at checkout. That is just for the merch. If you guys want to run in the cold, it is free. Check out their Instagram for that kind of stuff. But again, 10% off LEO10. Now back to the show. Brando's Randos. What do you got,
Well,
man?
this is off-season version, so I have I had a few, but we're going long, so I'm only going to keep probably the two, and then I'll roll some over for next week. But the two that I wanted to talk about briefly, the Big Ten is keeping 9 games, and it's eliminating the short-lived affiliation with the ACC and Pac-12. Does this mean that we're keeping the divisions? Like, I got so excited that we were going to move to 8 games and we're going to have a cross with an ACC. Like, we covered it on the podcast, but that's all thrown out the window. Is our dream of divisions going away dead too?
Brandon, tell me about how progressive the Big Ten as a conference has ever been.
It's like the state of Kentucky.
No, I don't think we'll ever go away from divisions. Because why? Because the money is in one division. Well, you know what? I just kind of trumped myself on that.
You did. You contradicted yourself.
The money is in one division. There's a big money team in the West in Nebraska that is going to struggle for the next 10 years at minimum to get out of whatever hole that they've dug themselves into, whatever Scott Frost hole that they've dug themselves into. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Adrian Martinez is at 32 years old is not going to take you to a bowl game, let alone any sort of promising future. Like, the only thing that makes sense is for the Big Ten to get rid of divisions, but they won't do anything. They won't do anything until somebody else does it, or until the Pac-12 forces their hand, or until because it was the Pac-12 was first.
Had a season, Michael. We would not have had a season if the SEC and ACC didn't go to play.
Yeah,
the Big Ten was ready to sit out the 2020 season, the COVID year. They only did it because other conferences did. Yeah. I hate Kevin Warren. I hate the Big Ten brass. This makes me mad. And this isn't a mad podcast. It's a happy podcast. A
happy podcast.
So I'm not going to get mad.
But I'm with you.
I was bummed.
I don't think that the SEC has to be the one to move. And I don't see the SEC getting rid of divisions anytime soon, even though is it Alabama, LSU?
They're in the same
Auburn?
predicament that Big Ten East is. They really are. They're the Big Ten or the SEC West is stacked and the SEC East sucks.
Yeah, so it's Georgia in the SEC East.
Yep.
And it's LSU, Auburn, Alabama, Texas A&M. Aren't they in the West too?
Yes, they are.
I mean, what are they going to do when Oklahoma and Texas come in there? They're both going to be in the West Division.
Yep.
I don't know. This isn't an SEC podcast. Both of us still have our hair, and we love everybody. So we're not going to go down that road.
LEO.
So I would think, unless the Pac-12 forces their hand, or unless they figure out a way to get the Pac-12 and the ACC onto a non-conference, I don't see us leaving divisions. Man, it would be so cool to play at Miami, though, wouldn't it,
dude?
Because they don't have any fans. I don't know if you know this, but
and going to the Orange Bowl would be sweet.
Oh, that would be sick. Their camp, well, they don't have the Orange Bowl anymore, but they've got the Hard Rock Stadium is where they play.
That's right.
So their campus is 25 minutes away from Hard Rock. The students have to take a bus or drive themselves to
That's safe.
the stadium. So they don't have any sort of like student atmosphere, and they rarely sell out anything. It's crazy. For that big of a program, they have zero fan sorry. Dang it. Dadgummit. They have no sort of like in-stadium fan support. And I think it would be awesome to go down to Miami for something. But whatever. We'll figure it out. What's next?
Speaking of hating money, the news, the NCAA will keep the playoff at 4 through the 2025 season. So that means 22 season, 23, 24, 25, at least 4 more seasons of no expansion. Does this surprise you as much as the NCAA loves money? Because like if you expand that to 8, like, I mean, it's just a cash cow. I was super surprised to hear that.
So was I surprised? I mean, a little bit. I was bummed. I think IU will probably only make it now twice instead of all 4 seasons if we would have gone to 12. But if you think you, dude, like how big are, even if it's Cincinnati, Georgia, I was watching that game. Alabama, whoever the heck they played, I can't remember. Michigan. I watched that game. I have zero interest in any of those teams, but I hate Alabama and I hate Michigan. But I was cheering for Michigan in that game. I was cheering for Cincinnati. Like, I want to see the underdog. I want to see the upsets. I want to see a 12 seed knock off a 1 seed. Like, I want to see that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's March Madness.
Prove to me that Baylor should have been in the top 4 by letting it be 8 teams, 12 teams. Let Baylor beat Cincinnati and prove that they didn't belong in there, or beat Michigan and prove that Michigan didn't belong in there. Like, it doesn't make any sense financially. The only thing that you have to think about is, well, are we adding, what's that going to do to the rest of the bowl games? How do we do all that? I don't think that they can do that in this short of a time span to get all of the logistics figured out and somehow talk everybody off the ledge of like, adding these different games to a student athlete is not going to injure them or whatever. You know what I mean?
No. If anything, it'll help their bodies get ready for a 18-week NFL. But
yeah,
it's not what this podcast is about.
No, it's not.
All right. Well, I have one more.
Okay, let's do it.
But very, very quick, just because this is actually an IU related question. Luke Fickell gets extended. I think we're all bummed about that because that means we get to play that out. But what are your thoughts on that? Is Cincinnati the new Boise State? Like, what are your thoughts with Cincinnati keeping Fickell?
I don't think that. Well, so the only reason I think that happened is because he didn't go to Notre Dame.
Nobody moved. Fitzgerald didn't go to the Bears. Harbaugh didn't go to the Vikings.
Your buddy
Franklin got extended.
Yep.
Only Notre Dame hired within.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley moved, and then Oklahoma hired within. Oklahoma's not going to hire Fickell. Am I worried about? No, I don't think so. I don't know. You get these teams that have these one-offs. I mean, I'm not going to call them. They're not Western Michigan. They're not, Coastal Carolina. They're not like that. But I think Cincinnati turns into a, how do I say this? A mid-major powerhouse? I don't think so. I mean, what are the benefits? If you're a student athlete, what are the benefits of you going to Cincinnati versus going to, I don't know. Let's just say IU, since we're an IU podcast. IU offers you're on national TV every single game. Well, for the most part. And even then you're on Big Ten Network, which is accessible nationally. Or you're in Cincinnati, who, if they don't play on ESPN.
Do you know when the American Championship was on? Cincinnati versus Houston?
No. Or it was on the same time as the
Alabama,
SEC, wasn't it?
Yes. You know how many people were watching Houston, Cincy?
I wasn't.
Nobody.
No, I was not watching it.
I agree with you. That's why I don't think I don't think Cincinnati becomes a powerhouse, but I was super surprised to see Fickell agreed to that extension.
They'll buy him out. If somebody big wants him, they'll buy him out. That's not a problem. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. And Cincinnati will take the money and they'll run. So, no, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would have much rather not had him there, and they lost recruits and players to the portal and everything else, but it's fine. I'm not worried about it. As long as they lose the quarterback and their corners.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
We'll be there, of course.
That's all I got.
Okay, good. Well, let's wrap it up. Be sure to check out the pod on Twitter. It's at PodcastLEO. Do not block that one. Please don't, or else we will
because we'll find you.
It will find you. And
we will give digs at you
off your house
every
or something.
Week.
Yep.
And we'll make sure that you're not singing with a broom.
That's right. Or mop. So be sure to follow, download, rate, review, do all that stuff. Please review us. You know what? I was told the other day our Spotify reviews are lacking. I don't know if that's a thing, but let's get those bumped up. So even if you guys don't really pay attention to Spotify or don't listen to us on Spotify, just I don't know.
You have it. You know it's on your phone.
Just give us a review. So, but yeah, that's it. Even if you guys, again, first time checking us out, you hated it. This is probably not the one you wanted to check out. First one, you probably need to do a post game, pre game, one of those. But either way, we'll talk to you guys next week. We are going to do kind of our favorite list. I mean, Brandon came up with a cool idea, I think. His first
We're gonna keep
ever.
this theme going. Our top 3 this, and it's gonna be positive because it's the off season.
Well, I don't know if the next one's going to
has-
be positive, Brandon.
Well, the next one might not be positive.
Yeah. So
The next one will be therapeutic.
it'll be a top 3 basically for the next couple weeks, and then we'll start our spring preview at some point, and then we'll go from there. But either way, we'll talk to you guys next week. And until then, we love you guys. Elio.
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 No, did he say it?
He said it.
Elio. Awesome day. Elio. Thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate that. Elio. All right, great. Elio. Appreciate you guys. Elio. You're welcome, Dave. Have a great day. Elio. Have a great day. Elio. Appreciate you being here with us. Have an awesome day. And Elio. Oh, thank you so much. Elio. Well, thanks so much, Elio. Hey, thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate that. Elio. Appreciate you guys, man. Have an awesome day. Elio. Awesome. Elio. Elio.